There are things that we have learned in medicine that can be really helpful when it comes to your blood. We now have access to blood tests that a lot of headlines out there will claim tell you exactly when you're going to die. There are biomarkers that can help determine not only your risk for heart disease, diabetes, but also your risk for developing potentially a chronic disease that could lead to an early death. And in a particular study, researchers at Boston University looked at all these biomarkers in 5,000 people, and then out of all those biomarkers, they discovered 26 different ones in particular that they could look to. And then looking at all these biomarkers, you look at them all together, you look at them separately, you could actually look at an individual and say, okay, based on these 26 biomarkers, Drew, you might die in X number of years, and your risk for dying are mainly from heart disease. You guys like this concept of being able to know when you might kick the bucket?
Layperson. I just went to get a very specialized breast exam because both my mom and sister survived breast cancer.
Checking for the BRCA genes.
Sono-Cine is what they do, but she is one of the only people in the world running this test. It's expensive, but what they claim is that 5 years, 6 years prior, they can start seeing the cells that are preforming before they get to any kind of place of a tumor, and then you can adjust your lifestyle accordingly. So
you're saying in your case, yes, because you have a history. It's just confirming that you need to go for more exams, maybe be more vigilant with mammography, and maybe go beyond just mammograms for your baseline studies. So we're just the tip of the iceberg with genetic testing. I mean, we're going to see more and more all the time to determine.
But what's the value? And this is what I wanted to talk about with this whole concept of predicting when you might die. For me,
you wouldn't
what
want
is
to know
the benefit
if you're set up for?
You would just be waiting until you're that particular age to pass away. And you know, no test is 100% accurate. So if they tell you that 82 is the age or 69 is the age, then like, how accurate is that going to be?
But are they giving you that? See, I looked at it more as that they're just giving you a makeup of what you could kind of avoid or say, oh, I need to change my lifestyle and my diet this way, you know, for this reason.
Why would you need, and I'll ask you, Jenny, this. My confusion, and I'll be blunt with everyone watching, I've never understood why you would need to take a blood test. We're all at risk for dying of heart disease. We're all at risk of type 2 diabetes. We're all at risk for cancer. So you don't need a blood test to tell you you need to start living in a way to reduce your risk for that. That's always been my issue with all these studies is, okay, so I'm gonna go spend $5,000 and it's gonna come back and say, for instance, I know I'm at risk for diabetes. I know, and the fact is, the only way I'm gonna change that is through lifestyle. And so I'm gonna do that. And I feel like sometimes maybe for an individual spending that money on a blood test, forking over a couple $1,000, maybe that in itself fires you up to make changes. But that's what I don't understand is
maybe it's a motivator.
I guess it could be. The biggest thing is, and I learned this very early in medical school, is if you're ever going to get any testing done, before you get the testing done, ask yourself and ask your doctor, what will we do with the results? You have to have a game plan for what you're going to do with the results. If it's positive or negative, what am I going to do?
Did you learn this? Because my husband did, and I think it's interesting. There are no absolutes in medicine.
Yeah. The other thing we learned is 50% of what you learn in medical school will be proven false in 10 years, and I think it's pretty close.
Well, and getting down to, I mean, things have been studied extensively, disease processes, and there's numbers, survival rates, and things like that, but there's always exceptions to those.
And miracles.
There are miracles.
You know I think back to medical school and we were preaching the low-fat diet and don't ever eat any fat. It's all, as long as it's fat-free, you're healthy.
Yes.
Think about how much that has changed.
I worked at a fat-free restaurant.
What?
Yeah, in Brentwood.
How'd that?
So everything was fat-free?
You know, at the time, I thought it tasted good, but I don't think it was good.
I
don't think it was
What was on the menu? What was it?
I mean, fat-free quesadillas, fat-free cheese, fat-free
How can cheese be fat-free? Was it real? That's crazy.
It was gross.
It sounds gross.
Yeah.